and there are a lot of small rooms that you can brawl in that limit the flanking options of some of the more mobile damage dealers that the Chengdu Hunters really like to play with.
Sure enough. Those gondoliers cutting it kind of close with those bridges.
They're robotic, it's fine.
I suppose.
They're not going to make mistakes.
It's like rockets on the bottom. Don't lean back when you're sitting in that boat or you'll burn your hair off. Yikes. Here we go. Seoul Dynasty on the defense. Chengdu Hunters on the attack. Fissure lurking around the outside. Just almost walked right over Elsa here as he takes the high ground. He gets his Zarya shield. Oh, and Fleta
dies.
Fleta just kind of steps off the edge, I guess. I want to see a replay of that one, see what happened exactly there. But Seoul Dynasty in a little bit of trouble. Fissure drops as well. Hunters might get some free distance here.
Okay, well, you never try these defenses on the bridge because any displacement abilities. So a concussive blast from the Pharah can jettison you right over the edge. There's obviously a lot of Lucios in the meta. So that is going to be a very puzzling defense from the Seoul Dynasty.
All right, what in the world happened to Fleta here?
Fleta is going to walk forward and get concussive blasted off. And the reason why it didn't register is because he right-clicked himself on the bridge, so it didn't register as him just falling off the side.
He stole the kill from
he
Hunters.
Stole the elimination.
He stole his own kill. How about that? Yep. Chengdu Hunters getting that payload almost all the way through A as Seoul Dynasty re-engaged. Amon trapped alone by himself. Pops E just in time. Gets enough shields to get away. Close call though. Meanwhile, Fissure very low and he's going to chase down that Hammond anyway. Jinmu firing rockets from the side, but Seoul Dynasty have kind of reclaimed their defense over this payload now, and it's going to start to roll ever so slowly backwards.
Yes, it will. Late Young still there trying to get some damage into the Seoul Dynasty as they hunt around for Elsa right now, trying to figure out where this Sombra with the EMP is. And that's going to be a stun.
Oh, what a bash actually coming in from Munchkin, handling Elsa before he could drop that EMP.
I mean, they got the Transcendence from the Zenyatta, though, so that's a win if you're the Chengdu Hunters.
Yeah, I suppose. Or if you're Seoul Dynasty.
So Seoul right now still going to be concerned about the EMP coming in from Elsa.
Yep. Going aggressive now. Minefield goes down, but they got Amon to place it a little bit inadequately. A little bit.
Right there, that was just a botched engage from the Hunters. Elsa had to translocate back, so wasn't in there. Pharah went too deep on the side of the Hunters. Now Elsa's back in position, though.
That's right.
And they still have to wait for Jinmu to catch up, and that's going to be another forced translocate by Elsa.
He got a little bit too close to Jexa and got found out. Had to back off again. Elsa running way back in there. Detected. Oh, JEHONG. Ooh, doesn't matter. JEHONG could not do anything about it. Fleta pops the Deadeye, but doesn't find any kills. It's been a bit quiet on that McCree so far. Meanwhile, Jinmu finding a few more, and it looks like Hunters starting to pick apart the Seoul Dynasty, and they're going to get a little bit of distance on this payload once they clear off the final stragglers there. Goodbye Munchkin, and the payload is moving.
Yeah, so now they look like they are going to just take point A right here. Not sure the Seoul Dynasty are going to be able to mount an effective defense. They're probably just going to fall back. Michelle has not even respawned yet.
Yep.
See how hard they want to go. They're controlling the bridge right now, and Fleta's just going to die, but he takes out Amon in the meantime.
Sound barrier doesn't matter. Barrage comes in, and Jinmu gets two before Michelle finishes him off with the charge. Seoul Dynasty. Ooh, Michelle actually gets another one. Seoul trying to bring this one back around, but I don't know if they've got enough. Maybe they do with Munchkin, actually, and Hunters have to regroup.
Yeah, they do. Actually, Fleta sacrificing himself, making the trade for Amon on the bridge, meant that there wasn't enough tankiness on the payload itself.
Crazy.
It's actually a very good trade for the Seoul Dynasty.
And look at this. Again, the Hunters find themselves at sub 20 seconds to even finish point A here. That might be a bit of a problem. EMP. Elsa finds JEHONG. Hard to get away from that. JEHONG stays alive. Oh, the defensive matrix saved him.
And not only that, though, it was the rally armor from the Brigitte that saved him.
Yeah. Seoul coming together with those ultimates and the right click from D.Va to keep JEHONG alive. Now they're going back in on the fight. And Jinmu, the first to fall on the Hunter side. Seoul coming up big with this defense, but they got to watch out for that self-destruct, and Fleta can't get away. Fissure, though, finds the kill on the Zenyatta on the other side, and Amon diving down from on high, but he's losing more and more support. Gets Munchkin anyway, though. And Michelle has to try to stay elusive, try to stay annoying, hard to kill to stop that payload. We're deep into overtime now for Hunters. JEHONG a bit low. Amon finishes him off. Michelle finally gets demeched, and sound barriers on both sides. Souls comes in a little bit later. Not as many targets for that.
Fleta's shooting in, though. He actually managed to pick off LeYoung, and he's starting to click on heads.
Fleta coming up big on that Widowmaker. Can he actually stop them from taking A, though? They're only less than 4 meters away. Michelle getting low health. Jinmu does take down Munchkin, and despite the heroic efforts of Fleta, I don't think they can quite do it.
I don't know, the tanks are still there. Finally, Amin has to go deal with this Widowmaker who's free firing. Primal Rage back up for Fissure, so that's more hit points on the payload.
Are you kidding me? What an insane fight at the end of this point here, but finally, the Hunters are gonna push it through. Getting another 2:20 on the clock.
That was wild.
That was close, man, yeah.
It's a wild ride there at the end for the Seoul Dynasty. I think the mistake was Fissure went too deep, trying to chase Elsa off, thinking that the rest of his teammates were going to be able to clear the tanks off the payload, but they had insufficient damage.
Like the Dwarves of Moria, he delved too greedily and too deep.
He did keep Elsa out of that fight for the most part, but I'm not sure that was the most worthwhile trade. Regardless, we're about to set up for another engagement here. JeHong once again with the Transcendence on the high ground. Elsa going to fall.
Wow, Munchkin finding the Sombra and giving Seoul the 6v5 right at the beginning here. LeYoung popped out of the mech, and that's going to be a reset for Hunters. Everybody dives into the canal. The canals look a lot cleaner in the future, don't they?
I guess I haven't been to Venice myself, though, so.
They're much more green than that in real life.
I'll take your word for it. I'll take your
Beautiful
word for
city, though. I love it. Hope I can go back sometime.
Seoul going to try and take the high ground once more just to make sure they can drop down onto the payload. This is an excellent spot for the payload to stop because Seoul can use the cover of the high ground and the corner depending on where they want to defend from.
Absolutely. Amin just kind of gets ground down there. Man, he's lucky he escaped with his life. That was a very close call. Hunters, though?
He's a hamster who knows his limits, Doa.
Certainly is. Oh, drops a minefield from on high. No knockups with that slam, though. Oh, still managed to force Seoul away. Ooh, that was a close one. Tried to knock a few members of Seoul off. Self-destruct comes in for the Hunters. No kills with that one, but it still does break that sort of hard point that Seoul had set up, and now the Hunters will be able to kind of push people back. Uh-oh. Oh, dear. Jaxi got the kill onto LeYoung. LeYoung trying to boop him off, but he got booped himself. Yveltal back in there with a kill onto JeHong, so Hunters still trying to brawl this out. This is insanity. Doesn't begin to describe the fights on this map.
It has been incredibly chaotic, but this is what Chengdu wants. They don't want the Seoul Dynasty to be all grouped up together. Yep. So the more they can isolate these into 1-on-1 and 2-on-2s, the better it is for them. All
right, EMP right into the slam here, and Kyo gets a kill onto Fissure right away. Seoul Dynasty do drop their sound barrier, but hasn't kept everybody alive. Fled in a lot of trouble too. Another minefield comes in. Amin builds those so fast.
And they're going to get a point B, Noah. In the end, Seoul Dynasty can't stabilize after getting knocked off that high ground.
Crazy.
And now just rolls in. And you know what that defensive matrix doesn't stop? That last melee to take out JeHong.
Not really. It's not StarCraft, Monty.
It's not StarCraft.
No,
sorry about that.
Yeah, I understand. Chengdu Hunters trying to take the offense to the nth degree by fighting Seoul nearly in their spawn room. They've only got a minute to push it the rest of the way through point C here. Rialto can be a tricky one to finish, though, so Seoul has a chance to stop this before the end.
And they can. Look for that Graviton Surge. Fleta looking to drag everybody in, and they're just going to engage with a sound barrier.
Why not? Why stop being aggressive now, right? Hunters walk in, but they walk right into a big Earth Shatter from Fissure, and that's going to turn things around in favor of Seoul. JeHong down, though.
It looks like at this point, this is about as far as the Chengdu Hunters are likely to get.
Seems that way.
They were able to, Seoul was able to win this fight while maintaining the Graviton Surge. So they're going to be feeling pretty confident about that. Yet another hamster coming in, and now they have to use it just to deal with Amin.
He's going to walk right into the grab. That's right. I think they hacked him as well. Fissure kills him with the charge, and now they're going to walk out on the back of that rally from Munchkin, using that extra armor to pressure Hunters back off the point. And now Chengdu down to just about 15 seconds remaining.
And they have to walk into an EMP, Doa. That's going to be scary. Michelle only 6% out. Elsa needs to get the EMP off before Michelle charges his.
That's right. Trying to be sneaky. He's not going to waste any time, man. He's going to go in. There's the EMP right away. Seoul Dynasty. They didn't catch JeHong, so he gets him with the Transcendence. But LeYoung catches Jaxi with the self-destruct. Now the EMP comes in from Michelle on the Seoul side of things. And they are going to turn this fight around. LeYoung gets hacked, gets demeched and de-lifed, as that could be about it. I don't think Elsa's going to be able to do much. A lone Sombra, and that is going to be as far as it goes. And I gotta say, with how point A went, the Hunters are probably going to be happy with that.
Yeah, they will. Superb execution. EMP right into Earthshatter for Seoul Dynasty. That's going to hit 3 members of the Chengdu Hunters and stop that push.
Well, exciting first round. Seoul gets their chance to attack right after this. Seoul Dynasty, their chance to attack now on Rialto. They've already won the match. It's kind of a victory lap for them, but hey, you'd much rather have that 4-0 than a 3-1 on the scorecard at the end of the day.
I'm curious to see if Seoul's going to do anything unorthodox on offense. Probably not. I think Chengdu did a very good job of powering through almost the end of Rialto when it looked like they were not even going to get 1 point on this map to start things off. They fought back ferociously.
Well, I mean, they are kind of like Hammond as a team themselves, where when that Wrecking Ball gets rolling, it's really tough to stop them. And when they won that last fight on point A, they didn't really stop going until the end.
I mean, once they disrupt you, it's very hard to regroup. And look at this defense. They're going to try something super sneaky.
Oh, got hacked. Uh-oh. Got hacked. Had to get away. But no, not going to make. That was kind of sad.
They got Fissure, but
right.
At the same time, if everybody just walks into spawn right now in Seoul, they'll just wait for Fissure and then come back out for a 6 versus 5.
I was going to say, it respawns, man.
Yep, respawn's obviously much closer. Now there's no chance of stopping them as they go across this bridge, and there's also no chance of really defending at this corner. Seoul doing a good job of taking up space here.
Yep. Just having a couple of people on the payload as everyone else kind of filters around the corner and holds that point. Hunters coming in from behind, though. They're not going to want to give this up too early. Nice knock up from Amen. Got the shields, but they were eliminated immediately. Oh, he did knock off Fissure. Veltal helping out with a right click on the Lucio. They get the kill on the Fissure, and there goes Michelle's. Oh, Veltal just wrecking people.
All right, they got to reset right now. Once Fissure's gone, there's no way for the Seoul Dynasty to really deal with this, and that is a great bonus kill at the end.
You played yourself.
You did play himself. They got greedy, trying to get exit kills there, and now Seoul Dynasty once again going to be coming around with that respawn advantage.
Yeah. Oh well, it's Amen is pretty fun to watch, but
I mean, I'm concerned Late Young is playing himself. He's already very low on HP.
Yeah, does have that grab though. Amen comes in trying to set up that Graviton Surge. Kyo does get the kill into JeHong on the other side now. EMP comes up big for Michelle. And that's going to be Seoul Dynasty just rolling ahead with all those hacked targets on the Chengdu side. They killed Kyo before he was able to Transcendence too, so pretty good attack by Seoul.
Yeah, very good. Exit kills also. Late kills means that they are going to probably be able to push this through point A without too much of a defense. They'll be there just in the nick of time. Amen's going to be able to stall them out.
Amen can always get there.
That's true.
That's the rule. He's a wrecking ball, man. He always gets there. In fact, he's here right now. Fissure taking a lot of damage, responds by throwing out that Earthshatter on the other side, but here's the Graviton Surge. Gotta watch out for that self-destruct, and it gets 2. Elsa sneaking it in there in a place where Fissure could not shield it.
And also, Jexay 6% away from the sound barrier. That's
rough.
what would have saved Seoul in that circumstance. Fortunately, the ultimate not available. Chengdu takes advantage of that window, gets the minefield down, and then follows it up with the Diva self-destruct to deal an immense amount of explosive damage to the Seoul Dynasty. But not really too much of a concern. I think if you're Seoul, you're going to have a sound barrier now, and you also have Michelle, whose EMP will be up imminently, and that's all you're going to need to push through to the end of this point.
Rally getting close as well. Seoul Dynasty going to wait out that Zarya shield before shooting at Amen. Amen's back again. Ooh, bounces on the high ground there. And they're going to go ahead and use the grab actually on him. Munchkin took out Kyo early. Munchkin on the warpath there, destroying Amen as well.
The solo grabs, I think, say a lot about how much Seoul is annoyed by this wrecking ball, because they have decided to use the Graviton Surge multiple times now on Ahmed just to trip him up because he's just so elusive and disruptive that it's just better to get rid of him because otherwise he's going to roll away. He's going to come and disrupt your back line once again. It's just too irritating. Michelle looking for some EMPs. Nope. Was going to get found out right there. Does do a little bit of scouting, and they are going to set up for an EMP as the Chengdu Hunters start to coalesce here on the high ground.
Rally time for Munchkin as Hunters get ready for their attack, but they're just going to play it out slow, I think. Yep, Fleta, well, Fleta, I say play it out slow, but then Amin decides to go in anyway, of course, and he dies. There goes Jinmu. I think Amin needs to kind of slow things down a little bit.
Fissure solo shattered him. That's what happened there on the low ground. So you can see that Seoul Dynasty, they're just now committing ults to Amin destruction.
Hey, I think that is absolutely what you want to do. I mean, this guy's got more rollouts than Optimus Prime and the Autobots, but eventually you got to be the Decepticon, right? Nice hack onto Hunters. Seoul Dynasty have to deal with that sound barrier on the remaining members of Chengdu, but they're in a good position here. Although Amin drops that minefield, Munchkin in a lot of trouble here trying to get out. Self-destruct comes in, doesn't claim anybody really for Elsa. And Amin just on that high ground. Now on the low ground very quickly, as he often does. Nice knockup, wow. Going sky high there.
He's not done yet either.
It's like Cirque du Soleil with this guy.
His mechanics are so smooth when you watch him play this wrecking ball.
It's true. Very fun to watch. Fleta fully charged, and there's that Graviton Surge, throwing it in. Chengdu Hunters in a lot of trouble. Now another minefield. How does he get him so fast?
It's
like a 20-second minefield. They're going to win the fight. Amin just always has a minefield.
It is pretty ridiculous. It is pretty ridiculous. So Abed now heading back to his minefield friends, and that will be Seoul Dynasty left to figure out how they're going to come back. Michelle looking to get another EMP in this engagement. Nothing really on the board or even really close besides a self-destruct on the side of the Hunters. Very few tools to stop this engagement from Fissure. Goodbye.
Oh, just walks right out. Why not? Throwing in that Earth Shatter. Elsa very, very low, nearly DMAC'd. Amin tries to slow people down with another slam, but the sound barrier for Seoul Dynasty is going to give them a bit more aggression. They need to wait out that Transcendence, but now JeHong walks in with his own. Fissure turns to get the shield up just in time for that self-destruct. And here comes a hack from Michelle. Hacks 5 members of the Hunters. Amin was just out of the way, and he didn't get hacked, but it doesn't matter. The rest of his team getting a little bit wrecked here. Wow, that was a great EMP from Michelle, and this guy's coming into this match with some of the highest EMP efficiency in the entire league too, so no surprise to see him get a big 5-man hack.
Yeah, and the issue was that he was dying frequently after EMPing, but that has not been a problem in this match.
Yeah.
He's been staying alive, which means that they hadn't been EMPing into immediately a 5 versus 6 with Seoul Dynasty shorthanded. That's a big change.
I think his average was like 4.8 people hacked per EMP. That is insane. Ooh, another Earth Shatter comes in for Fissure, but it's going to be the Graviton Surge on the Chengdu side to lock people up a little bit. Dynasty having to contend with that. Late Young does kill Jexay though. Walking in to try to get a little bit more. Amin on the upper side of the hallway here, and it looks like Hunters are going to be able to force Seoul back for the moment.
They get JeHong at the end of the push. That's Enjana not fast enough to get away, and they don't want to use the Transcendence Ultimate without a lot of the members of the team there. So this time, Seoul Dynasty got a couple good pushes left, but that payload still has quite a ways to move for them to win this map.
Sure enough, Michelle looking for another EMP here. Ooh, he may be just looking to push the payload by himself. Ooh, sneaky Michelle. Yep. Pushes the payload. Oh, Amin is ready though. Yeah, he just locate out of there. What it does is it pulls the Hunters back, and favorable ground for Seoul. JeHong survives the self-destruct with that Transcendence. Now the EMP comes in. Another gigantic hack for Michelle, and Seoul Dynasty wasting no time in jumping all over the Hunters. Wow, Michelle's EMPs have just handed the Hunters on a silver platter to Seoul 2 fights in a row now.
Well, also just the map awareness, drawing Amin back on the Hammond so that they have to play on the cart. It just makes it so much easier for the Seoul Dynasty to set up combos and not really be in a vulnerable position. Late Young, though, it's 10 seconds left, and he's got a Graviton Surge. Fleta will be matching him with a Graviton of his own.
Hunters still with a real chance to win this one. Seoul needs to get somebody on the payload right now. It's going to be Michelle touching it. There's Fissure on top of the payload as well. We've got the sound barrier for the defense one. JeHong takes on Amin. That's huge. Goodbye, Hammond. And now Fleta walking in, looking for a chance to Graviton Surge here. Waiting for it, doesn't want to get it eaten, he won't. Waits for that defense matrix to be down, and Fleta with another kill into Yveltal. Seoul Dynasty rolling forward. They got the picks. They're getting the kills. Sound Barrier versus the Graviton Surge on Chengdu, and yet another minefield for Amin as it comes back. But I don't think that even Amin's minefields is going to be enough, although Kaio does kill Munchkin. Can anyone stop there? They're just going to roll in, and Seoul Dynasty complete the clean sweep. That's a 4-0 for them over the Chengdu Hunters.
Still a kind of scary moment for them in that last map. Chengdu forced them into overtime.
Yeah, it was a victory lap, and Seoul Dynasty, it's one of those things where we saw them play so well in their first match against the Gladiators. Things didn't look quite as great against Dallas, and now they come in and they just, I would say, absolutely dominate the Hunters. And the Hunters' unique, unorthodox style, I think, kind of came back to bite them in that they play it well, but it seems like we need to see a bit more from them now, don't we?
I think, you know, when we talk about the metagame, Noah, the metagame is the metagame for a reason. It is the most consistent way to play on any given patch that you have.
Very true.
And if you're the Chengdu Hunters, you'll be able to take maps, maybe even matches here and there, like we saw them win against the Charge. But at the end of the day, teams that are able to play 3-3 consistently well are going to be the ones that are coming out on top.
What a fun series either way, though. I mean, the Hunters are always a team to watch, and even though they got 0-4, I still had a good time. But let's send it over to Danny, who's got Jaehong down on the arena floor for an interview.
Thank you, Monty and Doa. Roar on, Seoul Dynasty fans. I have RYUJEHONG here with me for a quick interview. Make some noise, everybody. Congratulations on the win. Now, last week you guys suffered a tough loss against Dallas Fuel, but you guys came out really strong tonight against Chengdu Hunters. How are you going to keep this momentum going? 자, 저번 주에 아쉽게도 달라스와의 경기에서 아쉽게도 지게 됐지만 오늘 굉장히 좋은 모습 서울 다이너스티가 많이 보여준 것 같아요. 이 기세를 어떻게 해서 서울팀은 계속 유지하실 생각이십니까?
이 기세를 저희는 지금도 항상 노력을 많이 하고 있고요. 노력을 더해서 이 기세를 멈추지 않게 할 생각입니다.
We've always been trying our best and giving our best for all our games. So what we're going to do is just keep doing our best and practice hard so that we will keep this momentum and just not make it stop. Alrighty, next question. So you guys didn't make it into any stage playoffs last season, unfortunately, but things are actually looking very, very good for you guys for Seoul Dynasty this season. How are you guys? How important is it for Seoul Dynasty to make it into the stage 1 playoffs? 자, 저번 시즌에 아쉽게도 스테이지 플레이오프에 서울팀이 못 가게 됐는데 이번 시즌에서는 좀 굉장히 서울팀이 굉장히 세 보이고 좋은 것 같아요. 이번 스테이지 1 플레이오프 가는 게 서울팀에게는 얼마나 중요한가요?
정말 저번 시즌 스테이지 플레이오프를 한 번도 못 갔기 때문에 이번 시즌에 정말 가는 거에 대해서는 저희한테